I hope every health insurance executive dies from a painful and preventable disease. Well, it seems not everyone is as patient as I. What's going on, guys, and welcome back to EmKay. Today we have the best post from r/curated Tumblr. It's like the larger Tumblr subreddit, but more curated, so strap in. I don't want my laptop to be the thinnest model yet. I want a battery that'll outlast the sun. A screen big enough to blind the person behind me. More USB slots than there are Apple fanboys in the Bay Area. A fucking disc reader and writer. I'll pay extra for it to be heavy enough to bludgeon someone to death. That's what I want. Bring me the thick computer. Bring me a big boy. Thinking about how my oldest brother took Japanese classes, his professor was like, "Your pronunciation is really good, but you need to watch movies that aren't about the Yakuza because you sound like a criminal." Somewhere in this beautiful world, there's a man who sounds like Paulie Walnuts because he learned English by watching The Sopranos.
All right, bash your face into a bolognese.
Isn't that beautiful? I genuinely hope J.D. Vance killed the Pope becomes a legit, widespread rumor. I hope the White House is to make a statement, thus only adding fuel to the fire about it. Well, I mean, 100% of the popes that J.D. Vance has met with have died hours later. It's just a matter of numbers and statistics, and you can't argue with that. The numbers don't lie, and these spell disaster for the Pope. I mean, if we're doing J.D. Vance math, it doesn't lie. Writing tip: if you push buttons on a keyboard, letters will appear on the screen. And with that power, you can do anything. I think it was cruel to give Lightning McQueen a foot fetish, as he lives in a world where all feet are wheels. He has nothing. Sorry, I wasn't talking to you, I think. I love how Kendrick Lamar was like, "I hate this one dude." And the rest of the industry was like, "Fuck, man, we do too. Give this guy 5 Grammys. 1 Grammy, 2 Grammy, 3 Grammy, 4 Grammy, 5. You know what? Play his hater anthem in Target. I want everyone to hear it while they're shopping for their towels and throw pillows." I often think about that one interview where someone asks a young Taylor Swift if she doesn't find it wrong to drop name her exes in songs, and she's like, "Well, if they didn't want songs about them, then they shouldn't have done bad things." And I honestly think she's so right, like I absolutely see no flaw in her logic. Anyway, stream my new single called Taylor Swift's Carbon Emissions, available on all streaming platforms until I get a cease and desist under the threat of a defamation lawsuit. Hey, it's just fiction. You're just having a good time. Why does my mother suddenly fail kindergarten whenever she tries to do anything on the computer? Like, I know she doesn't know what the maximize button is, so I told her to click the square at the top right, and she clicked the printer icon in the middle of the toolbar. And I'm just like, okay, this isn't a technology thing. You are flunking basic shapes and directions. I'm turning off your computer and getting you a block puzzle. You have a master's degree. Turns out those mobile game ads of people playing weird aren't rage bait. They've just been recording our parents. I'm shocked that this is a reality for people. The FAA changes astronaut definition, disqualifying Jeff Bezos and Richard Branson. Well, what was the old definition? Why were they qualified as astronauts? Was it just flirting with the idea of space? Someone on r/legal advice was sick of their coworkers stealing their food out of the fridge, so they started labeling "poison, do not eat" in Sharpie on both the bag and the food's wrapper every day, and the person still kept stealing it. So after a week, they added a bunch of laxatives to their food. And the thief had to go to the hospital and could possibly sue OP. The general consensus was that OP was technically objectively in the wrong from a legal standpoint, but there was 0% chance of them being convicted in criminal court, because that would require finding 12 jurors who would rule in favor of someone stealing food labeled "poison, do not eat," and then getting poisoned. Not guilty by reason of "fuck that guy." That label didn't bother him because he simply could not read. He was a sensory learner. This was the only way he was gonna know. For as long as I can remember, I felt a deep, heavy sense of loneliness. True. Wrong. You've selected the wrong answer. Now, this is how it feels to talk to my parents about my mental health. I'm so sorry that it's that way. Oh, that's sad. I hope you have someone to talk about that kind of thing. That's important. You know that John Mulaney quote, the things crazy people say mean nothing to them, but everything to me? Every time I hear that quote, I think about how I got this light up pen. Very nice. It's a very nice pen. I got this pen 4 years ago when I was working as a barista in Starbucks. I was on the registers and taking the order of this woman who ordered a non-fat latte because she was watching her weight. So this guy behind her, whom no one was talking to, for some fucking reason says, "Watching your weight? But what about the weight for your watch?" Hell yeah. Hell yeah, this is awesome. Which is a completely unhinged response, like just complete Mad Hatter nonsense. He was trying to break the ice. Anyway, this lady gets really uncomfortable, and of the 5 people, me, him, her, the other checker, and the customer at the other register, who are now sucked into the uncomfortable silence, I decided that I should alleviate the tension by saying, "You can't wait for a watch, you don't have the time." And then he said, "Oh, quick girl." Gave me a pen, got in a line, and left without ordering anything. I think you pleased a mad fey trickster. You like genuinely, you pleased an insane person. You, they do this every day, and once you have 100 pens given out to 100 different people, you point those beacons to the sky and it reveals a treasure from the trickster god. Oh my god, that's awesome. Imagine if people still took last names from their trade, like Fisher, Smith, Fletcher. Imagine some guy introducing himself to you as Jonathan Podcaster. Oh, it's him. It's Ted Talker. Making a better burger is literally so simple. I don't know why McDonald's doesn't do it this way. First, we're gonna begin by craft dry aging this A5 Wagyu beef with the Shoshu Ryuba technique that I learned at a restaurant you're only allowed to work at if your parents are blue linked on Wikipedia. This post continues to occasionally strike a nerve in the trust fund baby influencer fandom, which is a niche I didn't know existed, but yet here we are. Here we are with it existing. I happen to really enjoy Joshua Weissman's earlier content. I don't watch much of his new stuff, but I knew that dude was like in a different tax bracket that I couldn't even, feasibly dream of when I saw his house on Architectural Digest. Did you ever see that episode? Could a homosexual lend me, an asexual, a single use of the word flaming? You have obtained 1 flaming. I, a flaming asexual, need someone to please call the fire department. It is an emergency. Perfectly executed joke. No notes. I mean, you got the setup, you got the response, so it was like you got a little crowd work in, and then you hit him with the punchline. Beautiful. Beautiful job. No critique there. The sheriff said Tesla CEO Elon Musk helped the investigation by having the truck unlocked after it auto-locked in the blast, and giving investigators video of the suspect at charging stations along its route from Colorado to Las Vegas. Hey, how come the truck automatically locks when it explodes and bursts into flames? Hey, how come Elon Musk can remotely unlock any Tesla vehicle? Hey, how come Elon Musk has access to security footage of you charging your car? All valid questions. Do you care to answer Elon? No, Elon's, he's getting boosted on another video game right now. He can't screen these questions. Ooh, sorry, he can't take these questions right now. Your scent processing being so close to memory in your brain is insane. Sometimes you step outside and take a whiff and go, it smells like playing Pokemon Emerald in my 3rd grade after-school program in the crisp September of 2006. Context for the 19-year-olds reading this, September used to be a bit cold. I know you don't know what that feels like anymore, but it used to be just a little cold in September. Imagine being JD Vance, who makes a huge part of his personality being Catholic. The Pope himself takes time to lecture you on compassion and then promptly dies. The Pope uses one of his last hours on Earth to tell you that you suck at your religion on Easter and then dies. Anyway, rest in peace, Pope Francis. Dad passed this lady her drink and she said, "Thank you, sir." Well, I guess I'm not allowed to say sir anymore since it's a pronoun. And he literally just looked at her like this, like a straight face, what? He's now very wordly asking me if he looks like a conservative. He's like, sorry, is my hair too short? What's going on? Is my collar starched or something? What happened? R/shower thoughts checking in. People will swim in the ocean, even though there are definitely many corpses in it. People will not swim in a pool with a corpse in it. Humans all have a corpse to water ratio that is acceptable for them to swim in. I think it's called being able to see the corpse. So if I put you in an L-shaped swimming pool and you knew there was a corpse around the corner, you'd be fine. I love the implication that I'm a little animal and you're a scientist, putting me into various bodies of water to test my corpse water ratio tolerance. I appreciate being guinea pig like this. Thank you. I've always wanted to. Ethnic is one of the funnier euphemisms for not white. Like, damn, you look like you come from somewhere. I don't know where though. It's a little ambiguous, so we're just gonna call you ethnic. When I was in high school, my dad was speeding like crazy because I was running late to my job at the cemetery. And the cop who pulled him over gave him 3 whole tickets because who the hell goes 95 in a 25? But then, when my dad went to court, the cop didn't show. So the judge looked over at the charges and just couldn't believe it. He thought the cop must have been so racist that he made it up because who the hell goes 95 in a 25? So my dad got all 3 tickets dismissed because of racism that he didn't even experience because he was in fact going 95 in a 25. And to clarify, my dad used to be a cab driver in New York and he also grew up in India. So he just drives like a kid. But because the cop didn't show, the cop must have been like, this will be a slam dunk. And the judge thought this was clearly a profiling incident because who would go 95 and a 25? Turns out this guy does, has, will, and will do again. If I had a time machine, first thing I'd do is obviously kill Hitler. Even if Germany's fascism was caused by complex socioeconomic factors, it'd still be worth doing for the bit. Then I'd go even further back to the early 20th century and become one of those old-timey bank robbers when they had names like Pretty Boy Floyd and Babyface Nelson. And I'd make sure people knew me as Sweet Baby Ray just to see how it f***s with barbecue sauce history. Wow. I think we found a true chaotic neutral. In the wild, dude, we found one. I think I can be trusted with the book that kills people from the classic manga series. No one can be trusted with the power of the book that kills people, in my honest opinion. See? The trick is I would only kill bad people who deserve it. Unlike the main character, guy who kills people that he thinks are bad people who deserve it. What the f makes phone apps so cocky as to send me notifications telling me to use it? My grocery list app straight up went, you haven't made a list in a while? Are you out of your f***ing mind? You're a program. Why are you speaking to me like you're my equal? I could replace you with a pen in the back of a receipt, idiot. I'll kill you now. Okay, you know how many grocery list apps there are? I got 4 of you installed right now. Compete for me. In 4th grade, my best friend was in a death feud over chess with a boy in our class. But instead of competing like normal people, they decided that the best way to determine who was chess master was for each of them to select one of the 2 biggest idiots in class and teach them to play chess. My Fair Lady style, and see whose idiot won. We are just now, 22 years later, grappling with the moral implications of this exercise. This is just the chess equivalent to choosing 2 warriors to fight for you in the Colosseum. They chose 2 champions to go head to head. This is very funny. Now that Jimmy Carter is dead, can I just say what an absolute power move it was for him to run for governor of Georgia with segregation as his platform, only to do a complete 180 once in office? Insane. And if you don't believe it, we have a post here. These sourced it for me. Carter was sworn in as the 76th governor of Georgia on January 12, 1971. His inaugural speech, he declared that the time for racial discrimination is over, shocking the crowd and causing many of the segregationists who had supported him during the race to feel betrayed. What a masterful gambit. Politicians just don't do it like this anymore. Shout out Jimmy Carter. Shout out JC. Guy here. I was walking a friend home one evening and I mentioned to her that I was quite obvious about when a girl likes me. I said, a girl could smack me on the head and I wouldn't realize she was into me. Oh, they meant oblivious. Oopsie. She then smacked me on the back of my head and I responded with, ow! What the hell was that for? Well, I mean, he did specifically tell her that wouldn't work. So, communication would have been important here. National teacher shortage is a fun way of saying that the USA has made a passion-driven job so ungodly and hospitable that even people who just care about teaching, not the money, don't even care about teaching anymore. So you see how we've changed what that means? It's crazy. Please call this recession the Trump slump. That's cute. We need to put Trump's name on this. That's a cute name. I'm sorry, that was fun. If ever anything I wrote were to ever go viral, let it be this. Let everyone talk about the Trump slump. I want to hear this term on the news. I want to hear a stuffy reporter call it the Trump slump. To kill a French vampire, you need to drive a baguette through its heart. Sounds easy, but the process is painstaking. Multilingual jokes are my favorite. I have stored this away forever. It's in the catacombs now, much like Paris has those. Has anyone else noticed how successive governments' wars on teenagers, homeless people, and other undesirables have left us with basically zero public seating? Or water fountains, public washrooms, outdoor tables, etc. Now we're just all on the f***ing floor. Is that what they wanted? My favorite translator said that when she was an ambassador for Hungary, she took all these Japanese politicians on a tour and she was trying to circumtranslate merry-go-round because she didn't know the Japanese word for it by calling it a tornado, a horse tornado for children. They had no blessed idea what she was saying. And when she finally started running in circles going up and down and they go, oh, in Japan we call those merry-go-rounds. Don't you feel silly? Frankenstein enters into a bodybuilding competition and finds he has seriously misunderstood the objective. For the last time, Frankenstein was the name of the doctor. A doctor who built a body. For what is possibly the first time in history of pop culture as a whole, somebody actually really specifically does mean the doctor, and someone tries to correct them. This is a first, and an on and off discussion about free school lunches. A lady said you can't call yourself a Christian if you don't understand the simple concept of give a man a fish, teach a man to fish, leaving me to inform her that that wasn't in the Bible, nor was it a Christian quote. Not to mention, Jesus very much did just give people fish. Like, that was a very significant thing that happened. And he made sure that there was enough for everyone. It was a pretty big deal. And the mythical codfish would know. He was there. I'm still losing it over the how did high schoolers write 600-word essays before ChatGPT post. 600 words. That's nothing. That is so few words. What do you mean you can't write 600 words? 600 words. This post right here is 45. We've already whittled it down. We've already put a decent dent in it. Today I learned that in 2002, a researcher found that the average 8-year-old British child could identify 80% of Pokemon, but only 50% of common wildlife species. Wait, what? Is that not exactly like super duper surprising, but is that straight up? From Sir Obvious. Yeah, a common wildlife species don't normally yell their names at you. That might have had something to do with it.